Hello everyone, this is Suneve, and I'm coming back to you with Experiment, a Jeff the Killer X-rated by ThePerfectBlur. We're going to be starting off with Chapter 28. I watch in horror as Jeff raises his knife above my head, staring in his deadly eyes as they're locked on me, full of rage, anger, aggression, even a hint of sadness or maybe remorse. It was as if he didn't even know me. There was only one thing I could do, and I had to use my powers on him. Looking deep into his eyes, I try to force him to drop the knife, but nothing happens. I try to cause him pain or back him away, but my powers wouldn't work, and what was happening? First, they don't recognize me, and now my powers don't work. Shifting my eyes around quickly, I catch a glimpse of a mirror hanging on the wall. I could just about see myself. I was no longer myself. I looked completely different. Everything about me had changed: hair color and length, eye color, height, skin tone. I was a completely different person, which would explain why my powers wouldn't work and why they don't recognize me. I couldn't stop tears from streaming down my face, but I suddenly scream as I feel a sharp pain. Shakily, I looked down to see Jeff had plunged his knife right through my chest, tearing my skin as he twisted the blade. Blood pouring down as he yanked the blade out, blood squirting. The pain was agonizing, and I had been numb to pain for so long. This was something new, and I hated it. Dropping to the floor, I instantly started wheezing out of breath, and Jeff had punctured one of my lungs when he stabbed me. Je- Jeff, I cry weakly as I wince, clutching and pushing on the wound on my chest as the blood soaked my hand. Toby steps away, causing me to slam down on my back and gasping as the pain becomes worse as I lose more blood. Jeff's POV. Sadie, CW, Toby, and I will all watch as the intruder slowly dies on the floor, gasping for air as the life drains from her eyes. Suddenly, the door opens behind, followed by laughter. Well, well, seems our plan worked a treat. I recognize the voice. Turning around, I see Candy Pop, Ben, Masky, and Puppeteer, all of them seeming pleased with themselves. What are you talking about, Candy? His smile turns evil and proud as he bounces ahead in the intruder's direction. Looks like he killed the maid after all. He and the others laugh. What the hell is he talking about? The maid is dead in the bathroom. What, you mean this maid? EJ. Candy suddenly calls EJ, to which he walks out and stands next to the others, holding a body identical to the intruders. What? Turning around, the body laying unconscious and surrounded by blood was YN. YN? Rushing over to her, I gently lift her in my arms, carrying her bridal style as I hold her close. What the fuck have you done, Candy? Me? I'm not the one who stabbed her, Jeff. You did. He laughs, turning and walking away, his bells jingling with the swift movements, the others following him. It seemed that EJ would be no use in helping her, so I needed to get her to Slender from fast. How did Candy even do it? After Wyan left to go see Slender and took a while to return, I went to look for her and I found her body in the bathroom floor with her throat slit. And the person standing in my room definitely was not YN. So how did he manage to switch around their appearances? Surely it's not possible. I've never seen Slender do something such as that. Chapter 29. I hurried to Slender's office, kicking the door open hard with my foot, barging in and storming over to his desk to which he was sat at. He raises out of his chair in frustration at my rudeness for bursting in without knocking like everyone else usually would, but I didn't have time for that. What do you think you're doing? Doing my best to hold Wyan with one arm, I used my other to clear Slender's desk, pushing off all his papers and other things placed there, clearing some room before carefully laying her down on his desk, her blood soaking down into the wood. You need to help her, she's dying. A low growl mumbles from Slender's figure as his head lowers for me to look down at YN, his hand raising over her before placing over her wound. Her lung is punctured. She'll be dead within. No, you will fucking help her. I know you can do it, you old fuck. Now help her. I couldn't hold back my anger. He has the power to save her, yet he's choosing not to. Telling me stuff I already knew. I knew I had hit her lung. That's what I was aiming for. How dare you talk to me in such a manner? He snarls, his tendrils wrapping around my arms, squeezing around my chest and crushing me as I'm lifted into the air. You need to learn some respect, boy. Talk to me in such a way again, and I'll be sure to punish you severely, leaving you to die in the forest at the rake. His remaining tendrils were flailing madly behind him at a fast rate, and I could tell he was angry, more than angry, if anything. He throws me down, and my body hitting the ground with a thud as I make impact with the wooden floorboards. Please, Sunder, she can't die. I hated to beg, but it was my only choice in this case. Scrambling to my feet, I stand before the desk again, begging Slender to help her. But as I was doing so, I was questioning myself. Why did I care about her so much? Why was I so worried about her, and why did I want her alive? Why couldn't I let her die? What is it about her? Luckily, Slender asks me that exact question, so I was able to answer him and myself at the same time. I I care about her because that day in class as a kid, she impressed me. I liked her. I've never been impressed by anyone else, and I've never liked anyone else since that day. She's special to me. Slenderman stares at me before sighing, nodding his head, agreeing to help. However, I wasn't allowed to be in the room. He told me I had to leave before he would fix her. So I left and went on a hunt for Candy Pop, as I was going to make him pay for the way he did to her. Searching around, Candy was nowhere to be found. Neither was Ben, EJ, Maskey, or Puppeteer. I found LJ, but he said he hadn't seen them since and had no idea what the liquid was or how Candy got it. I had no hatred or tension with LJ previously, so I let him be. But I've had my fair share of tense moments with EJ, Maskey, Ben, and Puppeteer, especially Candy as well, so I had no second thoughts of making them pay when I found them. Chapter 30. EJ's POV. Ben, Maskey, and Puppeteer, and Candy and I all sat in the attic, feeling pleased with ourselves. Well, maybe not me. I wasn't really bothered. I'm happy to participate in this, but at the same time, I would be happy doing literally anything else. Although the others just seemed too excited about it, especially Candy. He was so pleased with his work, he couldn't stop boasting about it. Ben was the worst to boast in front of, as he would get too intrigued and ask more and more questions, which only allowed Candy to boast more. Do me a favor, Ben, would you? Give me a drunk lad. Candy had returned to his usual playful accent, but I bet the moment he sees Jeff, he'll return to being blunt and straight. Ben nods with a grin, glitching and blurring before disappearing, teleporting to the kitchen. So, Candy, tell me, what's really in that liquid? Candy swiftly moves his head in my direction, his bells gently jingling as he does so, squinting his eyes as he smiles wildly, giggling to himself. I can't go telling you that now, can I? All-time secret, that is. I sighed deeply. If I had eyes, I would be sure to roll them at this point. At least say how it works in the human body. I'm sure Maskey and Puppeteer would like to know too. The pair reply after my statement. I lift my hands, bending my arms at the elbow with my palms facing up. Sort of like a low shrug, but more of a gesture to prove my point to Candy. Well, okay, it works by altering the chromosomes, reconfiguring the DNA, therefore changing the characteristics. Maskey and Puppeteer nod, talking between themselves about it. I didn't pay much attention to what they said, but I just didn't understand how Candy could make or get his hands on such a thing. I've never seen anything like it, not even from Slender, and he has some weird shit. But how is that possible? Not even Slender knows about doing that. Candy doesn't answer. Instead, he just leans forward with a sly grin and squinted his eyes, looking full of mischief, raising his hand and making a fist before using his index finger to tap his nose. Jeff's POV. I felt like I had been looking for hours. I couldn't find any of them. Where could they be hiding? This is fucking ridiculous. I felt like giving up and just waiting for them to wander into my path rather than me trying to wander into theirs. Sighing, I decided to head to the kitchen. All the searching while full of burning rage had made me thirsty, and quite frankly, I needed to sit down. As I walked towards the kitchen, I hear someone rummaging through the fridge. I decided to not bother seeing who it was, as I doubt it was anyone I was looking for, but as I walked past, I gave a quick glance. I was wrong. It was exactly who I was looking for. It was Ben, who was part of Candy's little scheme. Storming over to him as he turns around, I grab his throat and I pin him to the fridge door, gripping tightly. Where the fuck is Candy? I growl, squeezing his throat as I use my other hand to bring out my knife, holding it in front of his gut. You can't kill me, Jeff. He chuckles with an amused grin. No, but I can still make you pay for what you did. Now tell me where Candy is. He shows a mischievous smile with a small laugh before glitching and disappearing, his laugh fading with an echo. My hand now clutching around air. No, no, Ben, you motherfucker. EJ's POV. I decided to give up for now on questioning Candy. He wasn't giving any more answers, and I started to feel like an idiot, constantly wasting energy asking things I'm not getting the answers to. I exhale deeply. Ben appears as I do so, glitching and blurring like a game screen with a virus before coming in full, just as if he were a normal human, like everyone else. He hands everyone a drink except me, as I tend to drink my own sorts of beverages. By the way, see, Jeff is looking for you. He seems pretty pissed. Ben chuckles, heading to his chair to sit down, slouching as he does so. Candy sits back in his chair, laughing as he sips at his drink. Is he now? Ben, Maskey, Puppeteer, give us a minute, will you? EJ and I need to have a chat. The two of them nod and do as they're told, leaving the room, but one obviously had to protest, which of course was none other than Ben. Why do I have to leave? I can be a part of this conversation too. Candy places down his drink, leaning forward and making strong eye contact with Ben. You can't stay. I'm sorry, lad. This is between EJ and I. He gestures, pointing towards me, but never taking his eye off of Ben. To which Ben begins to pout like a child, looking as if he was about to throw a temper tantrum. Why can't I? I'm much as part of this as EJ. I'm the one who teleported her out of there in the first place. Ben, get out. Candy interrupts him, standing out of his chair, standing tall, overpowering Ben with his height, his voice returning to its blunt ways. Ben grunts and storms out, slamming the attic door. You could hear him mumbling as he walks away, his voice fading in the distance. Candy's head snaps in my direction, his eyes locking on me, his hair swinging as he does so, causing his bells to jingle loudly. I stand out of my seat, our heights leveling each other, neither one of us overpowering the other. We were equal. I need you to do me a favor, Jack. His face was emotionless, no expression, just a straight face. Jeff would have probably taken the maid to Slender by now, seeking his help, and she can't survive this. If he heals her, you need to get to her before Jeff does and kill her. I hated the maid just as much as Candy did. She was annoying. Since the day she got here, I wanted her gone. I had to steal Sadie's old mask just for her to wear, as she was too pathetic to show her face. Sadie never wore the thing anyway, not once, but it was still hers. Even though I hated her, Candy seemed to hate her even more for some reason. It was burning deep down inside of him, like really deep down. So far, I didn't understand, and yeah, I hated her, but I never tried to kill her. Annoying as she is, I'd rather her clean my room and everywhere else than me have to do the work. Why can't you kill her if you want her dead so badly? Candy huffs a quick breath of air through his nose, as if to laugh a little. His eyes squint as one of his eyebrows raise for a jump, but just a second before lowering again. The corner of his mouth on the same side of his eyebrow twitches into a smirk before returning to normal, a mischievous expression to which only lasts a second. You know, I'm on my last warning for killing people here, Lou. Smile Dog, those previously around Jeff as well as others, Jason, Dr. Smiley, even Seed Eater. The last name Candy said sent a chill of rage and anger down my spine. I didn't care for many of those others, maybe somewhat for the doctor as he shared his operating tips, but Seed Eater, he was the one I cared about. When I became who I am today, that day I found Seed Eater. He was alone in the woods, just like me, after I had run away from everyone and everything. He tried to kill me at first until he discovered I wasn't human. He spared me and I spared him. We were together ever since, inseparable, until Candy appeared, to which he eventually destroyed him. Me and Candy had some bad tension in the past, during which he sent me Seed Eater's head in a box. You know not to mention that name. I know, but I did. He smirks, this time it stays plastered on his face. However, you have only killed one person here, so you have more chances than me. Plus, I don't think it would be very fair if I took another life away from Jeff personally. I should give someone else the chance to do it. I couldn't help grind my teeth and growl as he tries to boast again, seeming proud of what he was saying. You know I don't do favors for free. I'm not going to do his dirty work for him for nothing. If I'm doing this, I want something in return. Do this for me, and I'll give you a sample of that liquid you want to know so much about. He winks, licking his upper lip a little, his sly eyes shifting to the left as he chuckles, looking back to me. So, do we have a deal? I decided to accept his deal. I've despised Candy since the day he killed Seed Eater, even if it does seem like we're civil with each other. I hide my burning rage and death wish for him, but if I can get some of that chromosomes altering liquid, I can use it on him to kill him and get the others to help with his death. One thing before I accept. Why do you hate the maid so much, and why are you so obsessed with her? His smirk drops to a stern expression, his eyes locking deep on my mask and delving into the black sockets. It's not her I'm obsessed with. I was confused. He wants her dead so badly, and she's all he ever talks about. Planning and plotting, yet he's not obsessed with her. If not the maid, then who? Jeff. Jeff? Why are you obsessed with Jeff? I asked, tilting my head as I was now even more confused than before. He sighs deeply, shifting his eyes to the side before straightening his posture and staring right at me, not blinking once as he talks. Because I love him. That is the last of those chapters. The chapter after that is chapter 32. That is interesting, to say the least. This has been a little bit weird to read these last few chapters. It's been a doozy. Um, Let me know what you guys think, because I'm definitely confused. Yeah, until the next video where we can hopefully have more of an explanation. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!